now?
Yes,
Okay.
I think we. I think we started, but I don't know why I don't see the. Yeah, in Pauline. Yeah, I saw.
No.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, they said that. I think it's now okay now. You are staying sideways.
Okay. Well, I might have to check. It wants my phone to be vertical. It's weird.
Yeah. Now it shows. Yeah.
Let me see about this. Is this okay? I'm gonna have to prop it up different. My
Yeah.
okay. Let me see. This one.
So how have you been, my friend? Were you able to watch your
Yes.
opponent?
Yeah. Yep. I caught the whole thing.
Yeah. Any opinion? Anything to say about that? How did you find it?
I don't know. He doesn't seem to know too much about me, which is good. I'll take that as a positive. Um, so yeah, I mean, I know he's confident. He said he's 100% chance, um, and I don't blame him for that at all by any means. So
Mhm.
uh, yeah, it's what's to be expected. So it's good.
Yeah, he was confident. Yeah, he was very confident. But he was saying that he believes that you also should have the same mindset. Yeah,
Right.
it was interesting that he didn't really even watch, your videos or anything. But you are not the exception. Looks like he's doing the
Yeah.
same thing for everyone. He feels like he needs to be ready, and then once he's ready, he doesn't care who he's facing against.
Right. And I like that approach. I mean, I think I identify that with that myself. Like, it's me versus me, right? So he's saying he wants, he wants to be in his best form. He wants to be the best Sasho that he can bring to the table and prove a point. So I like that
Mhm.
approach for sure. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's how a champion thinks for sure.
Yeah, but not everyone is thinking that way. Some analyzes the opponent. Not everyone is that confident, and yeah, we all have our own ways.
Sure. Yep. There's
Yeah,
no right or wrong way. There's a bunch of ways to skin a cat for sure. So
yeah. Were you surprised to hear the way he is?
no, no. I mean,
Oh,
when
I
you're
was
when
surprised.
when you're a 10-time defending world champion, you know, I understand the perspective of not paying much attention to whatever, whatever else is going on around. Like he didn't seem to know too much about, common opponents and other people who were competing at WAF because he said he was just focused on what he had to do. I'm not focused on whatever else is going on in the finals at the other table. I'm focused on my match. So
Mhm.
there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I mean, laser like focus is important for success. So I like that approach.
Mhm. Just one second. Abi şu an canlı yapıyorum. Bitince döneyim ben sana. Hadi. Yeah, yeah. That was surprising to me, at least. Just like no matter, even in my prime time, I was really like watching the opponents and just like attacking like with the right spots and preparing myself. Um, but maybe I had to do that, maybe I wasn't the strongest guy. But maybe when you are feeling that you are the strongest, as long as you apply your
Yeah.
game and whatever you do, if you think that it is the strongest, then yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
I
Yeah.
mean, his style might lend itself to that too, being that, his lane, he's so good at it. He's so good at getting it. He's so good at imposing it on everybody. And when he gets there, he's so dominant. It may be less about everybody else and more about just him imposing his will. So I can see the perspective for sure.
But I am sure that during that podcast you heard some things that like also was interesting for you?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I heard about I heard about an injury to the pec not too long ago. I heard rumors of that, but I never had it confirmed. So I mean, to have that confirmed, and to know now that he's back to 100% and he's confident he's able to train side pressure is another good thing too. I don't want to come into this match with any excuses for myself or any excuses around the match. I think that's something I'm kind of looking forward to. With Rustem, coming back and the way that match ended, and an inopportune way, and having his layoff prior, and even some of the other matches that I've had prior to this one, there's been a lot of questions around, like, where is that person? Was Ron Bath recovered from Zurav? John was making his comeback. Samusha's first match back after 2 years off. So there's a lot of questions around a lot of my previous opponents, and I mean, these are questions that I have for myself. So I'm looking for the opportunity to kind of validate some of those questions I might have for myself.
um those questions, you think that, like, these are the questions of the community, or there is a question in your mind as well that you also, like, do you also feel like you also need to, like, prove something, or do you feel like you already did, but
No.
still there are some people that they have questions about your previous performance?
I think it's more about me wanting to prove something to myself, first and foremost, because at the end of the day, my perception is the one that I have to lay down on my pillow with, you know. Now, as far as everybody else's opinion and the question marks around these matches, I mean, that's valid too. So obviously, I'd like to prove to myself first and foremost, and then hopefully, solidify some of the doubts that might be around. And then the third level to that is if there's something I want to prove, it's more for us in North America as well, and not
Mhm.
not just North Americans as a whole, but me being one of the newer faces. I desperately would love to aid in the proving of the validity of some of the guys that we have over here and that we can compete. So for me, that's one of the big driving factors. First is prove it to myself, and then it's proved, on behalf of the growth that we're having over here in the United States and Canada. So
Yeah.
that to me is what makes this event so special. I can travel around the United States and pull all these guys that we now have the opportunity to go over and compete as a team with. But it's so much better to get the opportunity, to pull with some of these legendary European guys that I have the utmost respect for. And I feel
Mhm.
like, we're chasing them, so it's such a huge opportunity, not just for ourselves individually, but for North America as a whole.
Yeah, Paul, like, I need to tell you that I am amazed by you, who came to this sport not long ago, and not even when he was in 20s but in 30s, and was smart enough to, dedicated enough to reach to this level. Like, I'm really like, not many people can do that. Like, you can start when you are younger as a teenager. Yeah, there have been some people, like, at the, like, at 30s started and they were successful, and you are one of those um exceptions, and really, um like, the way, like, from, like, some years ago to now, you reach it, to me, it just shows that it is, I think, the result of your professionalism, your intelligence, and you being humble enough to learn more and more, and not being satisfied, like when you said that, you need to prove something firstly for to yourself. Like, it, when I was competing, it was like my, like, biggest thing, like, once you try to prove something to others, you are limiting yourself. You need
Yeah,
to have unlimited dreams, and you
Yep.
never get satisfied. More you do something, you need to do like I did this. I need to do something now more than that. That is the mind setup. Like
Yep.
I was 63 kilo. I was dreaming to beat John Berzing, but
Mhm.
I couldn't. But when you are targeting right here, even you don't reach here, you are reaching here. And then
Right.
it is already making you super good for your category. But if you are targeting here, like I mean, you understand you shouldn't limit. You should have like I remember in 1990 Europeans, 1999 Europeans, I saw Alan Karev, 200 kilo. This guy has beat Prime John Berzing, and I saw him. He was like signing autograph, you know.
Mhm.
And whenever I look at him, even I was like 143 in that event, I was just thinking, like, but seriously, not like in my mind, like
Right.
I see him as an opponent. Like, if I would pull him, how would I attack? Where would I attack? Like, it will never be possible. But the mindset is just like I need to beat everyone that I'm holding the handle. Yeah. So I kind of see a similar mindset with you that you are in your dreams. I see that you are unlimited, but whenever you talk less than what you have done, and it is just I find it very professional. I just wanted to tell you all these things. Yeah, yeah,
Thank you. I think it's
yeah.
important. I mean, I argue with my wife about how to handle successes. I usually handle, failures okay, but she's on me about handling successes. But I just see like, temporary achievement is nothing but a transition to the next goal. If you sit and celebrate what you've done, it takes time in your life that you could be focusing on the next goal. So I mean, I believe in shooting for the stars and failing at the moon. If I'm
Yeah,
aiming
yeah,
above, I'll invariably go farther than if I'm just aiming at that moon and that's it. So I'm going
yeah,
to aim for the stars and we'll see where I settle. I think the
yeah.
difference, I was listening to Travis talk today on his little podcast, and he was talking about like some of the
It still
differences.
says the same things. That the West is underdog. They will get
No, he was talking about like guys coming
because
in.
one before he was saying that way that
Yeah,
like
he's
yeah.
trolling. He's trolling. He texted
Yeah,
me
he's
right
trolling
after.
us. Yeah, he's trolling us. And then many people really believes what he's saying.
I
And
know.
he's confusing people. One day he says something, next day he says something different, yeah.
Well, I think he's also trying to balance out the fact that he's going to be commentating, and he
Yeah.
doesn't appear to be completely supporting the the West. So I understand it. But he was mentioning like coming in with like sports backgrounds, whatever the sport may be, how beneficial that can be. And for me, it was really beneficial because, to be
Yeah,
honest
yeah,
with you,
yeah.
it was much harder for me to be successful as an American football player based on my height, stature, and genetics than it ever
Mhm.
was for me to be successful at arm wrestling. That came so much quicker. Applying the same principles that I had in that sport to arm wrestling, those gains were exponentially better, probably because of my genetic makeup is probably better for arm wrestling than it is American football.
Also,
As
your
far as
professionalism, my friend, your professionalism, your discipline that you gain from American football. I'm
yes,
talking about as like taking everything so seriously, programming and this, like treating the sport with so big respect, treating your dreams with so much respect. That is what makes you successful. Trust me.
yeah, football taught me that for sure. I mean, it was
Yeah.
just a regimented lifestyle, and the way we approach film breakdown and prep for an opponent, and the mental aspect has been very, very invaluable to me. I can't imagine being on the East versus West stage, having not had a football background. It doesn't. Those things, the pressure doesn't really affect me much because I've just been in those situations so many times. So it's almost gotten to the point where, when I first started out competing, like at a young age, the pressure did bother me. I would be in my own head. But it's almost one of those things. The longer you do it, the more comfortable you are with it. You make yourself
Mhm.
uncomfortable until your comfort zone expands, and it makes these things definitely much more bearable. And it's actually gotten to a point where I look forward to these pressure situations. It's almost like it's almost like I look forward to that punishment and that stress because afterwards, whether I win or lose, it's like an emotional release that'll carry over for like a couple
Yeah,
weeks.
yeah.
You know,
I mean, that pressure like can be like something negative or
yeah,
positive. If you face that pressure with fear, trust me, if you are here, you will go here. If
Yes.
you face that pressure with courage, then trust me, you are here. Like
Pressure.
because that pressure is making you like it's threatening you. You understand? You feel threatened, and then like it is up to you. With fear, it will make you weaker. With
Yep.
courage, it will create you something like to you need to fight for, and then trust me, you are stronger because i- people who are brave enough, they can generate like more power when in extraordinary times.
Yep.
You,
Yeah.
you know what
Pressure.
I mean? Yeah,
It's
yeah,
important. It's important for us in general. I think like pressure can
yeah,
crush the best of us. It can crush and
yeah,
destroy the
yeah,
best of us. But enough pressure
yeah.
sustained over time makes diamonds. So how much can
Mhm.
you handle, and how comfortable can you get yourself with being uncomfortable?
Yeah.
It's a tricky thing. It's almost a masochistic thing. But for me, seeking out those uncomfortable situations has helped me in life to prepare for the ones that I'm not ready for. So I love it, and I wouldn't be if I hadn't found arm wrestling. And if it wasn't for the promotions that are going on right now, I don't know where I would be at psychologically at my age. To me, this is
I'm,
like
I'm I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you're part of it. I'm so
I
happy that
love
we
it.
have you. Yeah, yeah,
I,
yeah. Seriously, like I hope that we will have you for a long time. It doesn't matter
I'm not
for
going
all
to
the
do it.
next match or something. It doesn't matter. The question: where are you compared to your previous three matches at the East versus West?
It's so hard to
Um,
gauge. It's so hard
because
to
I don't think that you are at same like every time I see you physically, physical like and mentally and like your performance, like everything I see there is improvement.
Yeah.
Um,
So the physical piece, I don't, because of my latent injuries over the years, I don't track my one rep max as much anymore. Now I do like track wrist flexion, and I have gauges and barometers like, on my cable pulley system to ensure that I'm improving. But when it comes to like general strength, like in the core lifts and the things I've been doing since I was, 15 years old, I
mhm.
can't do the one rep maxes anymore because my labrums are destroyed from
Yeah, yeah,
overload.
yeah, yeah.
So I've adapted what I do, and now I usually use a specific weight. Like in this instance, like with bench press, I use a block to protect my labrums, and I do reps at 315. So in preparation for this match, I hit a PR. So normally I'm doing anywhere between 15 and 18 reps in 315 on a flat bench, just general strength gauge. I did
Mhm.
21 the other day, which is a PR. So to me, does that apply to arm wrestling? I have no idea, but it applies to this. So like when I feel like, okay, I think I am the strongest version of myself in that barometer. It
Mhm.
gives me a little bit of mental boost. And then the only other way I can gauge it is to go and arm wrestle with people. And then I have my camp, my guys that I work with, that I might not be able to get as good a gauge. But I mean, I've been able to train with Jerry Cataract. I've been able to train with Dave Morocco and Kenny Smith, Paul Talbot, now Todd Hutchings, Austin Jaggers,
Mhm.
the local super heavyweights that are killing everybody. And I feel on the table that my output is as good as it's ever been. But again, that's subjective. I can't really quantify that. And when you take it back to like what Sasho said, Sasho is preparing Sasho versus Sasho, and I'm
Mhm.
preparing me versus me. And when we get to
Yeah.
the table, we'll just let it. One thing I can say is when I come to East versus West and I compete, I will be at peace with the outcome as long as I don't make stupid mistakes. As long as I don't pull stupid and make terrible, horrific mistakes, I will have no
I,
regrets.
I think I think you already made those stupid mistakes enough to not to make anymore. Sorry, but it sounds like offensive, but you know it's true,
I mean,
isn't it? Yeah.
I'm top rolling, Angus.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. But come on, you know. But you know that better. But yeah, you know better. But
No,
I just wanted to.
I've
Yeah,
gotten
I
I've
mean,
gotten very rarely do I get to train with somebody who compete. Like it's hard to find anybody who competed against Sasho and not let alone competed, but also had success. But I've been able to talk to Rob quite a bit. Wasn't able to get with him and train, but I did get to work with Todd. So I've got a lot of good opinions. I think I have a solid game plan set up. I've changed some of the ways that I'm training on the table. I've added a little different structure to work on static side pressure and endurance. So I'm hoping those things pay dividends. I feel like they have, but we won't know until May 6th.
Yeah, but what I believe about you that um, like there are some things that can happen only by time. You cannot just because you want it's not gonna happen. It's just like your creation. The things will improve as much as they can, no matter how hard you work. Sometimes even doing things, more than necessary can even make you go back.
Yep.
So my opinion about why you are improving is not so much about your numbers or this and that. It is because if you were someone that who started arm wrestling when he was 15 years old, say 18 years old, and then I would say that like it's not possible to have incredible, just peaking, understand, after a certain time, unless you somehow gain weight, you became like something different. But because I think your late starts for arm wrestling, I think that there is still room for natural improvement, which is not only about the strength, but it is about the connection. It's about the coordination of the muscle groups. It's about the understanding of the sport. It is about the experience. Many
Experience.
things
Yeah.
all together. Yeah, many of these things together, you are not, you have not reached your potential limits. That is why your age, you said 41, 42, but your age in arm wrestling is not that old. And your age at the international level pulling, and also the maybe it will not sound humble, but maybe um, opportunity to motivate you maybe it hasn't been at this level. You understand? So
Yeah.
now I think that like you are like okay, like I want to do this. You understand? Like and yeah. So I think we all together. I never believe in one thing is just making everyone sound, but all together as a whole package, this is making you every event I see you maybe not 5% stronger, but 5% more effective.
Right. And I've
Yeah.
rushed myself to try and go gather so much information so quickly. Travel,
Yeah.
ask people, communicate.
It's
I've
because you are
rushed.
humble. You're humble. You're humble. You are not like, oh, I did this. I won the East versus West world title. I know everything, like this. You are not like that. And I kind of feel that like if you would be around the top 5 years, 5 more years, then maybe you would be more confident about talking. But the way you are right now is just you can observe much more knowledge, information from outside. This is how I see.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I can't wait for that experience, but I know time is what it takes to get that. That's the information that I can't ask people. I have to go get it on my own. I have to make the mistakes and I have to learn. So I'm
Yeah,
enjoying that ride though. Definitely enjoying it.
but I think that like your own experience is the best, but every time you come here, what is happening around you, very near you at
Mm.
that table, is
Yeah.
also this level.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, and I'm sure that even you don't like actually feel it, you still learn something. Like whenever I watch on Garbev, like 30
Yeah.
something years, I say this all the time, maybe people will get bored of it, but like like whenever I talk about Ongar Wave so highly, in fact, at the same time I'm talking so highly about Michael Todd
Right.
because I'm amazed on
You made him.
Garbe's performance against someone like Michael Todd. If Ongarbe would perform against someone like not that difficult, then I wouldn't be that amazed. Like not everyone can pull against Michael Todd.
The match
Yeah.
wouldn't be beautiful if it wasn't for Michael, and Michael being
Yeah.
able to put in those positions to put
Yeah.
Angerbaya
Yeah.
and really showcase Angerbaya's versatility, patience, and professionalism. I mean,
Yeah.
it takes two to tango, right? Yeah. Love it.
Sometimes you need to see to upgrade your vision.
And I can't get away from the matches too. Like, when we're there, I'm just like hovering around it. I'm like that kid that can't get away from the after school flight. He's just hovering
Yeah,
around
yeah,
it.
yeah. I'm the same. I'm the same
Yeah,
for more like 33 years. Whenever I watch there, I'm like, like, did you see that? Did you see that? I'm promoter. I should be like,
yeah.
shit, but
I can't.
no,
I
but
can't.
it
I know you told me at the last one to calm down and not rub somebody with my right arm. I'm like, man, I can't help myself.
oh, I told you that, right?
Yeah,
To
you're
not
like,
to, yeah.
what's your arm? Why are you
Yeah,
rubbing
but,
everybody's
but
arm?
trust me, if I would see Rustam doing the
Mhm.
same thing with his right arm, I would
Yeah.
tell him the same thing. Just go
Oh,
there
I
with the
know
left
you would.
arm.
I know you
Yeah,
would.
I
I'm just
see
saying.
I see everyone on that venue. Everyone is just like my fellow arm wrestlers. You understand? That
Yeah,
is why I sometimes act. They are like, oh, Dana White doesn't do that. I'm not Dana White. Like
yeah.
I cannot be Dana White. Yeah, it's
No.
not because like something else, but we are different. I don't need to be like him. You understand?
Yeah.
Like, I'm who I am. I will never change. Yeah,
Yeah. Don't
yeah.
don't change for anybody. I can't get
No,
away
I
from
will
those
never.
matches. I'm like a kid in a candy shop. I can't control myself when
My friend, just tell me that like we are gonna give you $1 million, but you're gonna act different. I will just say put that $1 million somewhere,
I
in
don't
your
believe it.
ass. I'm not talking to you, but
I
whoever. Just
know, I
you
know.
cannot buy me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So let's go. Let's go. I mean, I did you hear the things that he's saying? Like he's like Cristo said that I have seen him later rounds top rolling
I
directly.
know. Hmm.
I have seen later rounds his top rolling Rob.
It's a hard back pressure top roll with
Not
not a
so much the back pressure is, but then he pronates so side pressure with the pronation
yeah.
as he does with the side pressure with supination. He can also do that. But whenever I see you like um against John, against Ron, against some other guys who are trying to um like top roll top rolling you, it's not about the strength alone. Like you are also so explosive. Like you enter the match while I'm watching, I I realize after you hook the guy, you understand? Like you're so explosive, and so I really can't wait, especially if he's planning to go outside against you. It will be something different. It will be something different. He may try hook, he may try outside. I really don't know. But he
Yeah.
doesn't really do pure outside, pure hook, but it is just like mixed with side pressure.
Yeah. A lot of side pressure. I mean, I guess it would probably depend on, if he sees a weakness in me or maybe if his pec's still bothering him. I could understand why he'd want to go away, protect his pec. I don't know. We'll have to feel that out in the first setup.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. People see you so heavily underdog, some people. And North Americans are behind you. I don't know how much they believe, how much they because of like patriotic feeling. I don't know. But personally, I really can see that match going either side. Really, I really don't know what's gonna happen there because I don't know your physical appearance. Like I put the back picture and people like it's not bodybuilding. It's not bodybuilding, that's for sure. But if the guy is a already top level arm wrestler, it just shows that there is something good
Those
with
are,
that guy. If you
those
see
are,
Devon Larratt with that back, if you see John Burzing with that back,
yeah,
then you would just say that okay, this is John
yeah.
Burzing is already dangerous and something more is coming. You would say, but I don't know. The guy Sasha also has a back
Oh, I know.
like
And
one
even like
minute.
I saw some of the comments and like I'm like, it's not bodybuilding stuff. And then somebody referenced like the Kazakhs, and I'm like, yeah, of course Angarbayev doesn't look like that, but what about what about Morozov? He's a Kazakh.
Morozov.
I was like, this guy could win the Olympia. And I'm like,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
what about Sasha? Sasha looks incredible. Like I don't look as good as Sasha. So it's always funny to read the comments.
yeah. I don't know. So, okay. I'm not gonna ask your prediction about your own match because I know what you are gonna uh, say.
Yeah. Don't ask me.
You like
Ask
to
Todd.
be underdog. You're gonna say probably 25% for you, 75% for Sasha, and things like that. It makes you feel better.
Anything.
I know.
I want to be the underdog. I said, if you want to ask somebody, ask Todd Hutchins because he's about the only person. He told me if I don't win, I'm not invited back to his house. So
Oh,
yeah, he's about the only elite arm wrestler that has said that I have a shot. So I'm
okay,
taking out
okay,
the
okay,
under
okay, okay,
confidence.
okay, okay. What did he exactly tell you
He
about
said
your
if I
chances?
don't win, I said, well, I'll do my best, and he said, no, no, no.
That's not what I'm asking about his honest prediction.
Oh, he said it's a mismatch in my favor. And I said, are you crazy? And he was like,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
he had rationale, I guess, to why, but I was like, all right. I mean, and that was before I even went and practiced with him. So he's the only one that was saying that. And I said, well, man, you're throwing off my mind right now. I need to be the underdog. So he was like, no, no, I don't want to hear that. You know, and then like at the end of practice, he was like, if you don't win this match, you're never coming back to my house. I said, all right, I'll do my best. He said, I
Yeah,
don't like
yeah, yeah.
go win the match.
So that did you guys hear that the people who follows the chat? He trained with Tatachings, and after the training, Tataching said that
Oh,
it
Todd
is
said
a
it before. He said it before.
what? What? What?
He said that before we pulled. And then he said afterwards, yeah, if you don't win, you're never coming back to my house. Before
Oh,
we
he
practiced,
said before.
yeah,
Okay, the before I cannot take it. Like
yeah,
okay, I can take it, but after that he kind of repeated.
yeah. No, that yeah, he said, yeah, he had said it on a podcast that I was a heavy favorite prior. And I went there and I was like, hey, I appreciate the support. And he was like, no, I think you're favorite. And I said, well, you're the only one, so I appreciate it. And then we pulled, and he basically said, go win the match. And I said, I'll do my best. And he said, nah, if you don't win this match, you're never coming back to my house. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm telling you, like the people. I don't know who's gonna win. Sasha has chance to win. You have chance. I just disagree with people who think that you don't have chance to win. And Takashi's opinion, also, I mean, anybody. There is nobody that with like all the time with 100% prediction. But anyway,
no,
so
nobody
let's
can.
go with some other matches
Yeah, let's
today.
get into it.
You heard about it that I said
Yes,
Cherkasov, Oleg Cherkasov versus Mindaugas Karasaitis. I asked
yes.
people if they wanted to see, and they said mostly some people like probably who are not familiar with arm wrestling, they said they don't care and no, but I guess we need to also we need to also respect them. And so
Mindaugas is pure gold.
we talking about uh, two guys that European champion, world champion, Cherkasov, Zloty champion, Mindaugas,
Yeah.
and who wouldn't want to see? Who wouldn't want to see? It's almost the same level of match, like almost Habib versus uh, what's the guy, mm, the Scottish guy,
Uh,
Irish. Sorry.
Conor McGregor. You
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about?
yeah, yeah. I mean, about the like, yeah, like Cherkasov is incredible for
Yeah,
his weight. I
yeah.
think after this one, I need to set Alan Zoloev versus Nurdalet. Nurdalet, who had a win against,
Ooh, yes.
yeah,
What
yeah,
weight?
against.
What
What's
weight?
that?
Nerdalette has the title, right?
Yeah, title. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So would that be at 85,
75, 165,
75? And Alon, what's Alon weighing right now?
165.
Oh yeah, well that's easy then. But
So yeah,
Nerdalette got
that's that category. That's
yeah,
yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Alan Zoloev is 2021 WAF
Hmm.
champion,
Yeah.
and Nurdalet is 2022 WAF champion.
Hmm.
And because last year Russians couldn't compete,
Hmm.
so that those are the two previous years world champions in 75 kilo. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that would be an awesome match too. You're not thinking you're, and that would be for 8, right?
What's that?
That would be for July, right?
Which one?
Nerdalek and Alam.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am also planning to set Artem Tainov versus Artem Tainov beats Sasha
Okay.
in 2021 WAF. Artem Tainov versus Alijan Muradov for 95 kilo. And then
Ooh,
maybe the winner of them would pull Sasha for the left arm 95 kilo.
left arm 95. Yeah,
Yeah,
good stuff too.
yeah.
The
I don't know.
the never end.
Okay, so do you know these guys? Cherkaso, do you know Mindaugas?
Only a little bit. I know Mindaugas quite a bit. I love Mindaugas. I like his
Yeah.
personality. I love his adjustments, the defensive top roll, and I think he's like he may be one of the best at like the pre-match mind games that I've ever seen. I got to see it like firsthand, and it was like
How
he's
was it? Oh, you mean you're talking about the one that at the press conference or?
no like just the entire experience of how he pokes around at his
Uh-huh.
opponent during the entire experience is like
Yeah,
he's good at it. He's really good at it. And then on
yeah,
the table, the adjustments and the distractions and stuff. He's, I think, like when you talk about somebody who doesn't look the part, obviously he's incredibly strong, but he's also so good at the sleight of hand and the mind games. And
yeah,
he's just, it's like watching art.
yeah. He's one of those artists. And who is winning that?
I don't know. I'm gonna be rooting for Mindaugas because I like the guy. I mean, I had like a lot of good conversations with him. I mean, I can't help but support the guy. I'm not sure who the actual favorite is. Uh, I don't know enough to be able to really give a good gauge on that. But I'll be supporting Mindaugas for sure.
And 44% stronger says Tainov is a very good pull right-handed, but I have no idea how his left is. His left is probably 10% stronger than his right.
Ooh.
Um, okay, let's go to the next one. And Daniel Prokopiev, Douglas. Douglas is your very close friend, I can say, especially during these times.
Yeah, I think Doug is and is accepting his clear role as the underdog. But I think Doug, again, it's a common theme. When I really look at this match, I look at it less about Doug versus Daniel and more about Doug versus Doug and Doug's long hiatus, and then where is Doug's ceiling? And I know that the longer Doug is in this sport and committed the way he is, because of the level of this promotion and how laser focused it forces you to be, Doug's only going to get better. Is that enough to beat Daniel? I don't know. But like we talk about, our opponents and like, we've broken these matches down over the phone daily for I don't know how long. I think I would love to see this match go into a hook. I'm like telling Doug, I'm
Are
like,
you
find a way.
serious? Are you serious? You want
I'm
Douglas to go inside with him?
yes, I would like because Daniel said he would be willing to go into a hook. And there's some videos out there that Doug sent me and some different things. And I really think Doug underestimates his hook. His hook with a little bit of pronation added is really, really good. And I can imagine where it's at now after another 8 weeks of training. I would like to see that. What I don't want to see is the match wind up in one of those weird, sticky situations that Daniel gets his elbow to the back of the pad, has all of his
Mhm.
pronation, but maybe not his wrist, and you feel like you have something to pull on, and then you don't, and his arm's not moving. So I think it could be a really entertaining match, but I think Doug has more of a chance than people are giving him credit for. So
Mhm.
I would put Daniel as the favorite based on his body of work, but don't be surprised if the underdog pulls this one off, especially if Daniel decides to go inside.
Okay. And Adam Wojnarowski versus Bacho Saginashvili.
I'm so unclear about this one because there's so little on Bacho. And when the discussions were coming up about the matches, and who wants to pull who, and what are the different opponents that could potentially meet. If I'm Adam and I'm given options, of, like, someone who's clearly the favorite or the unknown in Bacho is the more of the sucker bet, like Bacho could be the greatest thing since sliced bread, but we don't know yet. It's not. I am not envious of Adam's position, because Adam is in such a good place right now, and his trajectory is looking so good and so steep. And then you enter in this, 19, 20-year-old kid who has these crazy gym lifts, the same last name as LeBron, and all the hype that comes around him, but no real video to study. So I guess, when you're trying to make favorites, you kind of got to go with the known quantity. I would say Adam is the favorite, just because he's the only one with any data. But it's not an envious position for me. I wouldn't want to be in that position, not having much to study and not knowing, and then also being that it's a guy that is himself on the climb. So I think it's a really interesting match, and I don't know how it's going to go. But I think Adam is another guy that brings a lot of very similar traits, to the table that I do with his background. He's an extremely hard worker, and he trains very scientifically. He just doesn't put it out there, and he's a good high character dude. So I gotta support Adam, but I'm not envious of that match for him.
Mhm. And Zurak versus Rob.
So I think Rob on paper has the best chance of any of us, because of his genetic ability and where Rob's strong. I think Rob 100% has a lane or two to be able to beat Zurab. The real question is, what version of Rob shows up. I know he's been dialed in during this process, and he's committed not just to this event, but to coming back as a whole, which I think is a really good thing. And I think Rob's going to have a really good support system with all of us there, which is another thing that is going to favor him. And I know he 100% respects Zurab, and he's going to bring his best to the table. But again, we're all underdogs, especially after seeing Zurab at AMC. Man, at 95, he looked unbelievable. So I mean, Zurab's the man. I like the dude too. I got to hang out with him. He's awesome. So I mean, it's tough. I know that there's lanes there for Rob for sure. The question is, can Rob get to those lanes early and,
Yeah,
and fin-
yeah, I agree. And Alijan Muradov versus Cody.
Oh, that's such a tough one to pick with the weight difference, man. I just talked to Cody the other day. He called me and asked me to corner him. How can you not love Cody Merritt? Like, how can you not love him? Like, he's
Yeah,
like a big Cody bear.
I agree. I agree.
I mean, it's tough for me to root for the bigger guy. Like, I'm like an under. I got to root for the little guy, or the underdog. But it's Cody. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I feel like Alijan Muratov is so impressive. He's so impressive at that weight. And again, what weight is he planning on coming in at? Do you know that?
I think that like probably it was 95. Just say like 97. I don't know.
Okay, so
Like
he's not
just say 215 probably.
he's not going crazy. It's funny because I was at Todd's, and Todd was wanting to convince me that the buckle side of the strap doesn't make a difference. And then he said, "Hold on, I'm also going to tell you something else that you're not going to agree with." He said, "Weight doesn't matter either." And he said, "I have a whole reason why." Anyways, I have a whole bunch of reasons why. We're not going to get into it, but I'm telling you right now, weight does not matter. And I have a
It
hard
does.
time wrapping my
It
mind
does.
around it. But if anybody proves that, it's Alashon, you know.
I mean, it is not because of that. Like just when you find one example out of hundreds of elite athletes, and then say, "See, I told you it doesn't." Come on, just then go
Yeah,
beat Levan Sakinashvili.
yeah,
Even
the
some
second,
of the athletes are complaining that he's too big, even though those athletes are also super heavyweight.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I mean,
Size.
like we cannot say that weight doesn't matter. Just imagine if Levan was 130 kilo, could he be that effective?
No.
Yeah. So that's why I'm saying that, of course, that like more after a point, it doesn't really matter. But anyway, so let's go to the next one.
Okay.
Arif Ertem, Georgi Dizeranov.
Oh man, you know what? Georgie is so fun to watch. It is
Mhm.
almost impossible for me to not root for that guy after those two matches he had when I was over there. Like I don't know. I mean, the wars, and then the way he carried himself. He like that guy's awesome. I don't I don't know. I would think Arif's a little bit too much, but I guess we're gonna have to see. But I'll
Mm,
be rooting for Georgie for sure. He's
I
awesome, man.
understand.
The entertainment that came along with those matches was priceless.
Yeah, he came back from the, like, I think from losing, or he lost against Kalnishenko, like he was
He was
losing.
doing
So,
2-0. He
yeah,
was down
but
2-0, and then he
but
found his
with
way.
the Wagner, I don't remember. He won 3-2, but like one he was winning, one Wagner was winning. I think he was beating Wagner 1-0, and then
Yeah,
Wagner came 1-1, and then he beat 2-1, and then he made 2-2, and
yeah,
then Georgi won 3-2. That's how I remember. Yeah,
yeah. It's something like that. But the whole entertainment around it, and then like
yeah,
seeing them,
yeah,
like they both were like dying, like getting ready to
yeah,
like physically die, and then
yeah.
like hug each other after. It was good. It was good.
So you are saying you are rooting for him, but Arif may be favorites. This is what you are
I
saying.
feel like Arif is too big. Again, coming back to the weight thing. Um, I'm not sure what his form is right now, but my gut
His
said,
form is better than before.
yeah, my gut says he's the favorite. But it
Yeah,
makes it easy for me to root for the underdog then.
yeah. But we need to also remember one thing. Whenever I offer the Zaranov the match against Wagner and Kalnishenko, the guy was coming out of like 4 years old, like no pulling, or no, 2 years old, no pulling. Yeah, and maybe not even 2 years, maybe 1 year. I think 2021 he pulled a Russian event, and then this was the end. Maybe 1.5 year, near 1.5 year, And so I think that every time we see him, we will see him better, bigger.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. I
yeah.
agree.
And so let's go to the next one: Dave Sheffy versus Revaz Lutidze.
Oh man, this is another one that could just be like a death war, depending on how it goes. And I know Revaz is getting better. Spoke to Dave a little bit. He's happy with his training. He thinks he's in a good place. I mean, we know Dave. We know how incredible Dave is. You know,
Mhm.
I give Dave genuine like 60-40 slight odds. I think he's just
Mhm.
going to have a little bit too much side and a little bit too much pronation. It's really going to come down to can Rivas threaten his fingers at all, and can he potentially get to Dave's gas tank, like get stops in awkward positions, and potentially wear Dave down. But I mean, Rivas is another one that he's had his resurgence with East versus West. So where's his ceiling? We don't even know. So that's what
Yeah,
makes this.
everyone is saying that he has been somewhere that he is at somewhere that he has never been.
Well, that's what I mean. I remember like the first couple events, and he was talking about he's at like what did he say percentage wise? Like my first event I was at, like he said something like 60%.
Oh
Like I'm Rivas
no, he
didn't
said he was 40%, and then
40%.
next event he said he was 60%,
Right.
and then he said 80%, and Morozov beat him. But this time they say that he's as good as, I mean, he's probably better than ever. Is what they say.
That's what I mean. I think that's what makes Rivas such an enigma and so interesting. Like,
Hmm.
where's his ceiling, and when is he going to get there? Because he's such a
Yeah.
huge gifted dude, you know.
Yeah. How about Laletin versus Tobias? Because I know that you need to leave in 10 minutes.
Yeah. No, I mean, I that's another one. We're talking about the two guys with the best grip strength in our sport, right? We're also talking about two very tall, rangy pullers. I think Tobias is like one of those future like flag bearers for the sport. You know, he's still
Mhm.
so young.
Did you see today what he was doing with 100 kilo?
Yeah, and I mean, he's like flipping it up and holding it here, and then
Only
like,
he was turning, like. I mean,
yeah, like weird stuff that humans are not supposed to be able to do. And then, not to mention,
uh-huh.
he's very versatile and transitional arm wrestler. Like, I remember cornering Marcio and watching him like transition and move around where Marcio was going. It was
Hmm.
like super impressive. And I know how good Marcio is, and Tobias is only getting. He's only, he's still young. He's only getting older and stronger. Nowhere near his prime. So I would think Vitali, depending on where his left is, you got to call him the
Hmm.
favorite based on his body of work. But that's another one that I wouldn't be surprised gets. It's very entertaining. It could be like
Hmm.
3-0. Maybe Vitali's just on such another level. But if Tobias has containment enough to contain that low hand or to keep his knuckle high on it, we could see a really entertaining match.
Hmm. Okay, then David versus Brandon. That
Oh,
is another close teammate.
Oh, I mean, Brandon, I think Brandon's really aware of like where he's at right now. But like when you look at a person who's dedicated their life to something, like I found it late. Brandon started young. His dad was an arm wrestler. His life has been built around this moment. You know, this is his crescendo right now. This is his opportunity. And he's not the type of guy to squander it at all. He doesn't balk at traveling. He will do whatever it takes. He'll cut the weight. He's going to do whatever he can. Now, I pulled with him very recently, and I can confidently say that this is the strongest version of him, regardless of weight.
Oh yeah, even though he's losing all that weight. Wow.
Now, I mean, he was probably 210 when I pulled with him, but I mean, it's normally he's a 220, 225 walk around guy, but he did not lose any strength. He did not.
Okay.
And I am
Wow.
very confident when we get over there and we cut the weight together, that we will rehydrate and replenish. He's going to
Yeah.
be huge. I don't be surprised if this guy is close to 100 kilograms when it comes time to compete. Don't be surprised.
Okay, Pauline, Sasho, I'm not gonna ask.
That's done.
Last two matches: Ongarbayev versus Irakli.
Oh, see, this is the one where everybody's been saying like that this is such a toss up. And I love the Georgians, but I see Angerbayev as a heavy favorite. I
Hmm.
just I guess maybe I kind of have Angerbayev on a pedestal. Like, I just think he is, like, after watching, what he did with John, what he did with Michael. I mean, he's just so impressive, and it's like the total body of everything he can do. And I feel like when the arm wrestling math doesn't always work. Like, if you just look and compare, Irakli to Angerbayev to John, and you just kind of work around that circle. I think this is one of the few times where that data really kind of does apply, you know, where, you know, John took Irakli's hand. Irakli had to pin him without his hand. Angerbayev took John's hand. So why would Irakli not be able to take, or why would Angerbayev not be able to take Irakli's? And I just don't see a winning lane in a flop wrist against Angerbayev because of how fluid he is. So I have Angerbayev as a heavy favorite. And maybe that's just because I have just a ton of respect for the Kazakhs. But I also love the Georgians, and I'm really hoping that it's a good match. And it could be. The one thing I'll say about Irakli is he does not strike me as a person who takes a step backwards ever. And he is going to come in, I'm sure, at like the best version of himself. So I wouldn't, even though I have Angerbayev as a favorite, I wouldn't be surprised if Irakli comes in like in some incredible form that we've never seen him in and totally
Mhm.
proves.
Yeah, Roman says that Georgians love you too, Paul. Thanks again for live.
They're great, man. They're
Yeah,
great.
thank you.
Awesome.
And let's go to the final match, the match that everyone has been waiting for. Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
yeah. Did you follow the podcast with Samusha or not?
No, I did not catch that one.
He knows Gennady for a long time, but
Yeah.
he has never ever seen him like this. And he gives 80% chance
Wow.
to Gennady to win. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's awesome. And you know what? I just don't doubt that. Like the Georgian camp, like talk about elevating, you know, they all elevate, like Zurab, they just elevate. They're just getting better at all times. So I think what's so interesting
So
about the match.
Devon, so is
Hmm?
Devon.
Oh yeah, for sure. I
Yeah.
think what's so interesting about the match is the Gennady's personality. I think Gennady's personality and his ability to deal with Devon's stuff, trickery, talking, and head games. I just don't see Gennady as the type of guy that is going to be negatively affected by that. And I also see him as like a true warrior, like a guy that has no quit in him, and a guy who can arm wrestle in a lot of different places. So I'm judging this match and saying that it's going to be very close, mainly based off of how I hear Devin talk about the match. Like Devin has given this match like so much credence. Like when you hear him talk about Gennady, and the match and how close it is, like you can just feel the respect. Like where a lot of people, over here think Devin is such a crazy heavy favorite. And I can feel like through his words, him saying that no, guys, this is like a big deal. Like I get it, it's not Levon or the number one in the world, but this guy is a big, big problem. And I think Devin is getting ready for the fight of his life, which is why we are going to see the biggest, best version of Devin, which is the ultimate respect for Gennady. So I think it's going to be a war, and I cannot wait to be on the sideline for that.
Yeah, I mean, me neither. Like, I'm just trying to imagine right now, like
Yeah,
they're coming to the table. Yeah, like it's like breath cutting. Like
yeah,
I really don't know what's gonna happen because like Gennady is like someone that you cannot underestimate either. I know Devon is incredible, but we like it is so hard to compare. It's not. We know where they are good at it, and but like
Well, so like
like
Gennady
yeah.
is like Gennady's a savage though. Like as a person, like Doug and I hung out with those guys, and like we got dinner and everything, and had a few drinks, and we just talked about a bunch of stuff. And I also talked to my buddy Goga, who's Georgian and stuff. And like
Mhm.
Gennady's a savage. Like Gennady was showing us pictures on like CCTV of him like fighting a bunch of dudes like in the street. And then Goga's sending me other videos of like this guy.
Oh, he show you videos that while Gennady is fighting on the
Yeah,
streets?
yeah. Goga showed them to me, so did Gennady. Like this guy is a savage. Like not like in a bad way, but the guy's a fighter. And he's gonna
Oh,
bring that to the table.
how was he fighting? I'm just curious.
He was bear slapping people, but you got to think how big Gennady is, and it
Uh-huh,
was
uh-huh.
grainy video, and you could just see people flying. It was just great. It was
Oh, he
comical.
was slapping them and the people were flying
Yeah,
around?
people slapping him. There were several videos of it. He's just he is a he is not faking it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
he's
I
not
mean,
faking it.
I know, but Devon is not either.
Oh, I
These
know.
two
Hmm.
guys are as real as it can be. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what makes it so awesome
yeah,
because
yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
we're going to see a collision of those personalities on the table, and it's not going to end quickly. That's the only
Yeah,
thing I can guarantee. It's
yeah, yeah.
not.
One of them will pass.
It will not be a quick match.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Paul Italia cigar, baby hands. He calls. Yeah,
Yeah,
Gennady doesn't have baby hand. I don't know how
no,
it
he
did
does not
started, but
have baby hands. That's trolling.
Yeah, yeah, that's trolling. It's not like Levan hand, but it's not small either. It's just like
Yeah, that's trolling and not
yeah.
baby hand.
You cannot say that Gennady has so big hands or something, but he's not baby hand either. Yeah. Mega Mike says, "Great show. Keep up the hard work. Thank you,
Mega
guys.
Mike,
Thank you. By
Mega
the way,
Mike.
guys, Kevin Tomke, thank you for your support. By the way, guys, compared to the all previous pay-per-views, this is ahead of the other pay-per-views by the
That's
days
awesome.
that left to the competition. So thank you for your support
Yes.
and everything. Yeah, thank you for your support. The same uh with the trading cards and everything. Trading cards are about to sold out.
Yeah.
Um,
I think we have an opportunity right here, Ang, to kind of set a record. You know what I mean?
uh,
Which I think would be pretty cool. Like this could be a record-setting pay-per-view. So, guys, if you're watching, like maybe give a little effort to get this thing out there and see if you can bring one or two new people to arm wrestling. Whether it be bringing them
yeah,
over to your house to watch it, but let's spread this stuff. It's growing. Let's keep it going and build the momentum.
yeah, yeah. Anyways, thank you everyone for watching, for joining us. Um, and thank you very much, Paul. There is Bell Edgar.
Yeah.
My favorite in arm wrestling, Paul, class act, Linn. I agree, my friend. Yeah, he is the class act. Yeah, he's a good example person for our sports. Paul,
Hopefully
thank
we
you very
see him
much. What's that?
I told Bo I'll probably see him in Virginia. I think he's a little
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
you know him? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, so 10 days, and then I see you. You
Yes,
arrive
sir.
on when? Wednesday, right? Wednesday you arrive on.
Yes, I believe so. Wednesday.
Yeah, yeah. Wednesday. How about we do it's May, a boat cruise on the sea,
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be
Yes.
good, right? Yeah, maybe
Yes.
like Friday noon altogether, it would be good. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
Once I'm rehydrated,
I
let's
mean,
do weigh in a
uh, uh,
little bit earlier and we can
yeah,
enjoy
yeah.
it.
We're gonna
Yeah.
eat very good, and then even we go with the boat cruise, we will still have things with us to drink, eat,
Yes.
whatever. I'm sure that
Yeah.
you will bring those weird colored drinks.
Yeah. That's the secret recovery juice.
Okay, okay, yeah. I don't know. I only see like blue drinks with you.
It's Pedialyte and water.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I just like this is a must. Every 3 months that needs to happen. As an arm wrestling family, we need to meet together. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
Nothing better.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Paul, and see you very soon, my friend.
All right, guys, take care.
Take care. Take care.